Hello once again, everyone, and welcome to the Sanctuary. Once again, we are playing Final Fantasy XIV, A Realm Reborn, as part of a little bit of a trip down memory lane. Let me go over the rules and explain why I will be breaking them today. So as you all know, I am doing this under New Game. I am doing all of these stories under New Game Plus. I am doing it as Meteor's job in the promotional trailers, so I will be running Warrior for all of this. I am doing... Rule number 4 is that I am running this as quest or patch level appropriate gear only. And the third rule, and the final rule I'm going to say, and the rule I'm going to break today, is that all of these are through duty support only. This is with the exception of raids, alliance raids, and duties that do not support it. Now then, let's get to our side by side this time around. So, this episode we are going to be doing the, going through, these next few episodes will be going through the Crystal Tower saga. And the reason why we can't do this solo under New Game Plus is because, this is the Alliance Raid saga, which is a 24-man raid for those of you who are unaware. However, we will be doing each part of the Crystal Tower saga with patch appropriate gear. So in this part of these the Tower saga, and I forgot to. There we go. In this part of the Tower saga, we will be running with our Warriors gear set and Amber accessories. The only thing that has not changed in the least is Minfina's earring, which stays on regardless. But anywhoozy, in order to start the Crystal Tower saga, we are going to talk to this outlandish man and start off our quest line with the level 50 quest, Legacy of a Lag. Do I know you? Ah, unless I am very much mistaken, you are the famed adventurer who bested the Gallian Empire's general, are you not? The great Chris Valentine himself? Amazing! And more than a little serendipitous. One might even call it fate. I but recently received word of a truly unique opportunity, you see. An opportunity the like of which none but one of your proven worths could take advantage. The reward? Not less than the accumulated knowledge of a fallen civilization. The risk? A single misstep would cost you your life. But what is a little danger to a storied hero such as you? A man with absolute confidence in his own abilities stands to profit handsomely from this venture. Oh no, I crave no recompense for my part in bringing this opportunity to your attention. The historic discoveries you shall make will be reward enough, I assure you. If my words have fanned the flames of your curiosity, then I bid you seek a man by the name of Ramrose at St. Coinarch's Fine. It is he who stands at the doorway to Untold Marvel, awaiting the arrival of a champion bold enough to march across the threshold. Thankfully, now we can fly. So I'm gonna fly right on out of here. While I expedite Bayon's little escapade. There's Rambros. Let's talk to him. Why, if it isn't Chris Valentine himself. I was not expecting such a celebrated guest. What do I owe the honor of this visit? We're directed here, you say, by a man clad in foreign garb. Well, the opportunity he spoke of most surely referred to our latest anthropogeographical endeavor. Quite how he came to know of it is another matter. All knowledge of this project was supposed to be restricted to my organization. But that is something for me to ponder in private. We're here now, and your services will, I am certain, prove invaluable. I must warn you, however, the venture we have in mind is no simple excavation. An unprepared or incautious adventurer could very well find himself on an unplanned and unpleasant journey to Thal's solemn halls. Knowing this, you still wish to lend us your cooperation? I rather thought you would say that. Your courage is scarcely a secret. Now the first... Chris! I thought it was you! What brings you to St. Coinox? Don't tell me. The Alliance has sent you on another realm-shaking, history-making mission to lay low an apparently insuperable foe, yes? No. Ah, I see you two are already acquainted. That is well. Master Garland, our intrepid hero here, caught wind of the forthcoming expedition and has gladly pledged to assist us. Has he? Glad to have you aboard, Chris. You don't have the faintest idea what you volunteered for, do you? Very well, let us begin at the beginning. The Sons of St. Coinoc are tasked with unearthing the secrets of the long-fallen Allegan Empire, and this present endeavor aims to delve more deeply into the civilization's mysteries than ever before. Ah, but I know that look. In the event that you feel ill-equipped to contribute much on the subject of Allagan archaeology, I invite you to recall your encounter with the Ultima weapon. That mechanical monstrosity represented a feat of engineering far beyond aught Garlemald can presently achieve. Nero Tulskeva simply awoke it. I mention this by way of a reminder that you have had what one might term extensive first-hand experience with a notable Allagan relic. Short, you're practically an archaeologist. Now, to the core of the matter. Here in Mordona, there stands an entire Allagan structure which we have yet to investigate. I speak, of course, of the Crystal Tower. After witnessing the destructive After witnessing the destructive capabilities of the Ultima weapon and the lesser Moon Dalamud before it, seems wise to treat any remnants from that era with the utmost caution. They must be analyzed, monitored, and, above all, kept from falling into the wrong hands. To put it plain, I have no wish to see another megalomaniacal legatus wield one of those weapons. It was this thought which first moved me to contact the Sons and propose that the tower be explored. For several millennia, the Crystal Tower remained hidden, buried deep underground. But, like so many other things that were better left undisturbed, the structure was freed from its stony prison by the great upheaval which accompanied the coming of the Seventh Umbral Era. Now stands revealed in all its splendor, a gleaming spear of crystal pointed in the bosom of the heavens. We believe the tower to be the repository of much of the ancients' wisdom. Unfortunately, its entrance is guarded by formidable defenses. We cannot so much as peep through the keyhole, much less step foot inside. These defenses take the form of statues carved into the likeness of giant swordsmen. The 8 sentinels, as the sons are wont to call them, is the first barrier we must overcome. Why not simply fly over them in an airship, you ask? It's been tried before. Any vessel that ventures too close to the tower is blasted out of the air. We either destroy those statues, or the front door is forever beyond our reach. My colleagues and I are ill-suited to negotiating such deadly hazard. Thus, we are to gain access to the tower's secrets, must needs employ the services of an experienced adventurer. It would be difficult and dangerous, Chris. I can think of no finer man for the task. If I didn't know better, I'd say you'd had a taste for these deadly escapades. I look forward to working with you again. There is much and more to be done before we can begin the expedition proper. Take some time to prepare yourself. I shall explain the challenges that lie ahead. Okay. Let's do it. Our first objective is to reach the entrance to the Crystal Tower. As I previously mentioned, however, that will prove no easy task. The entrance is guarded by powerful defense mechanisms, each utilizing one of the 4 elements of fire, water, wind, or earth. Anyone attempting to simply stroll past these unsleeping sentinels invites swift obliteration. Based on Master Golin's analyses, however, we are reasonably certain that the attacks of these lethal contraptions can be reflected using a crystal of the corresponding element. Naturally, these crystals must be of surpassing clarity, free of the slightest impurities, much like the flawless specimens used by the beastmen in their primal summoning rituals. Mayhap I should have said exactly like the specimens they use. Were there any other way, I would not ask this of you. But we need someone to enter the Beast Tribe's strongholds and liberate their perfect crystals. Hold up, let me... Okay, just making sure. For the moment, I would have you focus on obtaining 2 of the 4 crystals we require. Pray, make for Lenosha, where both the Sapsa spawning grounds and Ugamaro mines are located. Well, you may be certain that the materials used in the Beastmen's sacred rituals will be well defended. Whether you choose to venture there alone or with companions, I shall leave to your discretion. Whatever you do, please, be careful. Alright, we'll start with the Ugamaro mines in Camp Overlap. Alright, we need to slay the Kobold Sentry to obtain a flawless Earth Crystal. Simple enough. Especially now that we can fly. But I will not fly in the mines because it takes up too much space. Now, we have to talk about a significant change to the Crystal Tower saga here. Back in the day. Ugh, what a clusterfuck this was. If we switch to our window view, you will note that we had to participate in fates originally in order to access the Sapsas, in order to obtain the flawless crystal. And waiting for fates to pop was like... It was just an aggravation in and of itself, because you literally had to wait for the fate to pop in order to do the fate. And if you died anywhere in the middle or the time ran out, you were boned. But now we can expedite this little bullshit by just fast forwarding our video a little bit. I sat there waiting for so long, running fates. It was stupid. And goodbye, Rock Splitter. Off to the Sopsa spawning grounds, which are near Aleport. This is what I loved about... This is what I love about this change. Like, as you can, even just looking at Bion's shenanigans, I was just searching for the fate. I was jumping between one area and the next, just waiting. But now I simply don't have to. And I don't have to run towards it either. Of course, we don't have such interesting characters as Yar the Wave Fiend. That is a sacrifice I am willing to make. And of course, we don't have such entertaining personalities as... Jesus, how long did it take me to do this? Oh yeah, we don't have 5th Order Patriarch Zebu either. But we are now done with that, so let's head back to Revenant's Toll. Sometimes I don't know what I was doing when it came to comes to certain areas. Of course, I had interruptions galore back then. I didn't know to just ignore my phone. All right. Hello, Rambos. I'll progress your efforts in infiltrating the Beastmen strongholds. These are the famed flawless crystals of the Beast tribes. I've seen countless specimens from I know not how many excavations, but nothing to compare to these. Their purity is astounding. You have done well, Chris. These in our possession, we lack only the crystals of fire and wind. The former lies in Zaharak, the war camp of the Amalja in Thanlan. The latter in Narlan, the roost of the Ixal in the hills of Kurthas. You can expect them to be as closely guarded as the first two, if not more so. Still, I look forward to receiving word of your resounding success. Okay, so there was a line change on that, but we're gonna head to Zaharak, which we can go to by way of Little Alamigo. I teleported to the Forgotten Springs at first, but... And once again, the issue arises where we have to go to these quests and wait for fates. And if you got there even a second shorter, you were fucked. I'm gonna let past Kruznik do his thing, and I am going to fly right down here. There's the Amalja Flame Eater. We don't get Flame Crest Afaj Kol anymore. Yeah, eat it. Now to Nadalan, which is in the Kurthas Central Highland. We had to do the Stormcaller back then. And I think the Stormcaller still comes up from time to time. It's just... Yep, and we... The Stormcaller is up right now. This is what I'm talking about, folks. It was by way of luck that you had to wait for the fates to drop. And if you were lucky, they would drop sooner rather than later. Now we have our Ixali Skycaller instead of having to wait for who again? Oh yeah, Gozol Itzkan, the hatchet. Oh wait, no, that's not him. Oh, Kozol Nomotol, the Turbulent. The hatchet was a different guy. Oh, and before I forget, I need to turn off skip playback. Alright, we'll take the Chocobo Keep over to St. Coinox. I still love the contrast we're pulling off here. Whereas Bayan was running as Paladin, I'm running as Warrior. These were, before Heaven's Ward, these were the only two tank jobs available. Thank you. Rambros.
Chris, it is good to see you. Tell me, were you able to obtain the remaining crystals from the beastman? Wonderful. All 4 crystals in hand, we are now ready to proceed to the next stage of our preparations. I hope I did not give the impression that we would be embarking upon our journey to the Crystal Tower just yet. Alas, there is another step which must be completed before we come to that. While the crystals you acquired are indeed flawless, they are of little use to us in their present form. They are to reflect the elemental forces of the tower's defenses. They must needs be cut and polished. A process which calls for a very particular set of materials. Procuring them will be a challenge in itself, I fear. Needless to say, we will be requiring your services once again.
Okay.
If the flawless crystals you procured for us are to retain their elemental purity during the shaping process, a very specific set of abrasive substances will be required. Well, I say substances. One might just well call them one substance, namely, ether sand, which has 4 elementally aspected varieties. Alas, ether sand is neither common nor cheap. Indeed, it is not unusual for the abrasive to exceed the value of the precious stones it is used to polish. Given the rarity of the materials in question, the Goldsmiths Guild in Uldar seemed like the likeliest place to purchase the quantity we require. When I contacted the Guildmaster, however, I was informed that no ether sand was currently available. Though I requested that word be sent as soon as new stock came in, I have yet to receive aught but apologies. I should mention at this point that I placed the order some time before you procured the flawless crystals. I am well aware that acquiring ether sand is no small feat, of course, and I am not an impatient man. But I fear the more we delay our investigation, the greater the risk that the tower's secrets may fall into the hands of other, less savory parties. That is why I wish to entrust you with the payment for our purchase, and send you to speak directly with Guildmaster Serendipity. Mayhap the presence of such a distinguished personage will spur the guild into action. In any event, it is my hope that when next we meet, we will have found at least one of the 4 varieties of ether sand we require.
Alright, off to Uldar. Oh yeah, I can't use mounts in here, but I can use the Ethernet. Other way. I did the Gladiators Guild instead of the Goldsmiths Guild. I'm dumb. Alright, Serendipity.
Ah, Master Valentine, welcome. What brings you here, if I may ask? You are here on behalf of the Sons of St. Koinak? What fortunate timing! I was just about to contact Master Rambros with the news that we finally managed to acquire a quantity of fire-respected ether sand. I'm afraid it may be some time before we can supply the other 3 varieties, but you are welcome to settle accounts for that which we have now. Pray, speak with Jamimi Hey, over that. Ah, I do beg your pardon. It seems she's assisting another customer.
Come on, there must be something you can do. Without that sun, we'll have to rethink our whole design.
I sympathize with your plight, sir, but as I explained, the ether sand in question is already spoken for. If you'd like to reserve the next shipment, then I would be happy to accept the funds you've offered as partial payment.
Partial? Are you saying it's not enough? I'm already stretching our research budget as it is. So the man can do without a midday meal for a year or two. Chris! Been too long! What brings you here then? Got your eye on something expensive, have you?
Well now, that is quite a money pouch. The sound of so many guild clinking together is strangely satisfying, is it not? Calming, and yet invigorating at the same time.
Oh no. You're here for the blooming ether sand, aren't you?
Yeah, sorry, bro.
Well, I can't deny the Alagan civilization's a subject worth researching. Chief said he was looking into something big. We never thought to ask of him what. Wedge and I have been too busy tinkering with a new airship design to think of much else, see? Well, I say tinkering. Wrestling would be more like it. Well, after much wringing of hands and gnashing of teeth, we've managed to put together a prototype crystal-powered propulsion system. We got the idea for it when we heard how you lot had used a corrupted crystal on board the Enterprise, as a matter of fact. Anyway, to cut a long story short, our design calls for all four varieties of ether sand. And that's why I can't just relinquish my claim on this batch here, even for you, lad. How are we meant to usher in a brave new age of technological innovation if not by technologically innovating, eh?
Ahem. While I hesitate to interrupt such an impassioned speech, duty compels me to point out that this gentleman is a representative of the organization that reserved the ether sand in question. To mention nothing of the fact that his purse is considerably larger than yours.
Oh, it's like that, is it? Alright. This batch is yours. I'll let you have it. If you're going to take my sand, it's only fair that you grant me a role in this project of yours. I'll take that as a yes. It's not every day you get a chance to experiment with the wonders of the ancients. With any luck, they'll inspire me to think up another technological innovation or two.
Okay.
Now then, well, you've told me, I'm guessing you'll be needing the other three varieties of elementally expected ether sand as well, right? And rather than sitting on your rump waiting for a shipment that may never come, I reckon your time would be better spent looking for the stuff yourself. It just so happens that I know of a good place to start. There is said to be a peddler in northern Thanalan who, very occasionally, handles the earth aspected variety of ether sand. Wedge is in the process of confirming the rumor as we speak. I know what you're thinking. When did my timid little friend decide he didn't need me to hold his hand anymore? The answer being, just the other day. Seems he's been inspired by a certain adventurer's heroic example. I thought he was joking when he volunteered to go to Thanalan without me. I just hope he manages to stay out of trouble. Head out to Blue Fog and you should find him poking about with his new bodyguard. Oh, did I not mention her? Aye, Wedge thought it might be wise to hire an adventurer to accompany him, just in case your heroic example turned out to be less inspiring than he first thought.
Alright, off to Blue Fog. Save your greetings. If you're looking for a hired blade, then you'll have to look elsewhere. After the day I've had, the only company I crave is the squat, silent type. The type that has a handle and holds no less than a pint of ale. You wish to hear my tale? I warn you, 'tis no stirring epic. But as you asked, my employer, a Lalafellin lad, wished to pay a visit to a peddler who deals in some manner of special sand. Forget what it was called, but 'tis apparently worth a small fortune. Anyway, when we arrived, the man claimed his stock had been stolen by bandits. Determined not to return empty-handed, we crept into the bandit stronghold and set about locating the stolen goods. Long story short, alarms were raised, rogues were awoken, and we fled in a blind panic. I was separated from my employer in the confusion, and I've not seen him since. Oh, a friend of yours, is he? Then you'd best be prepared for the worst. It's just possible the poor sod may yet be lost in the old Amagina Mithril mine. And I fear the bandits will have caught up with him by now. I do want to come... Okay. The Amagina and Sons mine. Here we are. And seeing as we're severely overpowered, we can find Wedge, no problem. Let's just see how troublesome it was for me the first time around. Yep. Well, we made it. How could I be so stupid? Sneaking into a bandit's lair. It's just not the sort of thing I do. And now I'm going to die for it. No, I just need to calm down. I can do this. I can be brave. I'm going to stand up and I'm going to walk out of here. Here we go. I'm sorry. Please don't kill me. I promise I'll leave and I'll never come back. Chris, is it really you? But how did you find me? Can you smell fear? Actually, ignore that smell. I expect you're wondering why I'm here. Well, I was just in the process of retrieving some stolen ether sand which Biggs and I need for our research, as it happens. It was, I concede, perhaps a touch foolish, and very nearly fatal, but I did succeed in snatching the stuff before my bodyguard ran away and several dozen bandits came piling after me with knives and axes and what looked very much like a plank with a rusty nail in it. Anyway, the important thing is that the stolen ether sand is right here in my Oh dear. It must have fallen out when I was, taking evasive maneuvers. Seems I won't be leaving this infernal place for a while yet. You'll find the ether sand in my stead? Oh, thank the gods! You're a true friend, Chris. I hope the search doesn't prove too troublesome. The bandits don't seem to care much for visitors. Simple enough. It pays to be several levels higher than your quarry. Simple and clean, just the way I like it. Chris!
Have you had any luck locating the ether sand? Yes! That's it! I must return to the workshop at once and tell Biggs the wonderful news! What's that? You're also on a mission to collect ether sand? And you're working with the chief? A treasure trove of Alagan knowledge, you say? I see. Then you should really be the one to have this. Biggs and I are far from exhausting all possible avenues of airship innovation, but it sounds as if your problem can't be solved by any other means. This expedition of yours sounds jolly interesting, I must say. I'm half inclined to join you. In fact, I think I will. Any venture worth the chief's time must be worth a look. Right, I'm more than ready to leave this awful place behind. And you should return to Mordona with that ether sand before there are any more, little mishaps. Be sure to keep a close eye on your pockets, Chris. Back to Mordo. I don't know why I didn't just, teleport before hitting the grenade. All right, Rambros.
Ah, Chris, you have returned. I take from your presence that you were successful in procuring us some ether sand. Tell me, which variety did you find?
Fire Kissed and Earth Cradled.
I see. 2 varieties. Well, that is 2 more than could reasonably be expected, and 2 less than I had hoped you would say. Forgive my flippancy. You have done well, truly. If all goes to plan, we need no longer fear death by fire or earth. Master Garland, if you would be so kind as to prepare the relevant crystals, I shall set to work immediately. Truth be told, I've been looking forward to this. One does not encounter materials like these every day. Speaking of which, how in the 7 hells did you find them? Mistake me not, old friend. I know only too well how capable you are, but ether sand isn't something you simply find gathering dust at the back of a merchant's rare gem cabinet. You had help from Biggs and Wedge? Trust them to design a revolutionary new engine the moment I turn my back. How's a genius meant to rest on his laurels when his employees are so damnably inventive, eh? Now they're determined to join us, are they? Typical. I jest, of course. It will be good to have them around. Still, as a matter of professional pride, let's endeavor to procure the 2 remaining varieties of ether sand before they arrive, shall we? Tell me, Rambros, have we any information on where the water and wind aspected types might be hiding? Not as of yet, but I have made certain arrangements. We shall soon see if my efforts have borne fruit.
Forgive me for observing, but you seem less than enthusiastic about that prospect. If there's a complication, I'd rather we discuss it now than risk jeopardizing the expedition.
A happening explanation is in order. But first, let us savor the preliminary victory that Chris has won for our cause. If only for a moment.
Alright. Part 1 of Labyrinth of the Ancients is done. We will be back with part 2 of it in just a moment. If you're watching on Twitch, stay tuned for more. If you're watching on YouTube, here are the links provided. See you in a bit.